What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Reality Kingdom. We put the real in reality or whatever, period. I'm your host, Pharaoh. We're joined by, we're not joined. We're alone. Oh my God, every time. Oh, I miss my friend. Anyways, we're here today to talk about The Amazing Race 37, episode 5. I'm not gagging. Exactly what Oscar said. I'm in mourning. We all need to bow our heads and give a moment of silence to the head team in charge. My literal faves, Scott and Lori. No, my Shayla. My Shayla. My literal parent. This is the thing. Imagine, and you don't even have to imagine because it's reality. Your parents are on a TV show and they got sent home. These are my parents. My mom and my dad. Like they're practically my twin. We look just alike. I just can't do it. I can't do it. Not my parents. Fuck. Such a disappointing episode. It's a real episode. It's a real bad episode for me. Because no shade. Like, I did all that hooting and hollering about, the twist will make it even. And with the fuck them twists. Fuck them twists. Fuck even. I don't want it to be even. I want Legends to win. Okay? We're gonna get into it because there's nuances. There's different areas you have to really calculate and analyze when you're talking about these things. Look, I'm emotional. Look, this is all I know. Wrong show. Amazing Race season 40 better be either an all-stars or a second chances, because between Scott and Lori, Team Walla Walla, and who else? Emily. What's Emily's sister name? The twins. Molly and Emily. I need all three of them back. And that does give like a second chances vibe because they all kind of got fucked by some bullshit. So we either need an all-stars or a second chances because I need all three of those teams back guaranteed. Period. Anna Lee needs to come back. Like, we need all-stars right now. Any fucking ways, y'all. We're here. Let's get into the motherfucking episode. And look, there's some pros and some cons. We're gonna get into it all. Let's just pull up the people and move forward. Okay. Now, look, this is the screen. The people are on the screen. Green means they moved up a place. You see, there's a lot of green because they knocked down the heavy hitters. No shade. They did make the right move because everybody except Melinda and Erica moved up. Oh, and Carson and Jack stayed in the same place. If it's red, they moved down the placement, and if it has a little highlight, they were the biggest gainer and the biggest loser. So Jonathan and Anna dropped the most because they went from 1st to 8th. Damn, that would piss me the fuck off. Like, honestly, fair, whatever, twist, yada, 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 yada. That would piss me the fuck off. Why am I in last when I was just in 1st? Ooh, and then Pops and Jeff, they a big old ping pong ball because they'll be at the top of the charts, the middle of the charts. They'll be at the bottom. They don't know where they want to be. Shout out to Pops and Jeff, though. But we're here. Let's start off this episode. Of course, we're still in Bali, Indonesia, and we're going to travel to the monkey lounge. What is it called? The Sacred Monkey Forest. Let me not disrespect the Sacred Monkey Forest. Okay? So that's where we're going to travel to. As we're traveling there, we do get some tea from some of the teams. So Anna and Jonathan, they talk about how they had a ectopic pregnancy, which is when they are pregnant with a baby and the baby is being grown outside of the uterus. So that's very dangerous for the mother. Of course, they weren't able to keep the baby. So this was a very, very deep moment. And they talked about later in the episode that like this experience was supposed to be like a way of them celebrating life after losing this. And I do love stuff like that. Like that is a very great way at looking at that situation. And it's really like hard to kind of just, what is it called? Dwell on stuff like that, because even me, I had a cousin, my cousin, she dealt with losing a child as well very recently. And it's like stuff like that, you can definitely go down a dark path with, because that's your child, but you really also have to like look at it in a certain other way, like a celebration of life rather than always mourning it. And it's so difficult. It's such a hard pathway to follow, but you know, they're strong for being able to push forward and move forward in the game for that. So I respect them for that, period. Carson and Jack, they leave in second. They know, and this is the thing about Carson and Jack. You know what? I'll put a pin in them. I'll get it to them later, because they some smart ass motherfuckers. Them, the gays, and this is what you need to know. If you're ever on a show, get the gays out. The gays they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. And they like to play dumb, because I got some tea. I got the tea for you for Brett and Mark and for Carson and Jack. Get them gays out of here or you're going to lose. Okay, period. Shout out to T for Ann in the chat. Poor Anna. Damn. I didn't even know this was poor Anna Johnson sucks. I hope he got an attitude check. No, not my friends. Look, it was crazy. We're actually gonna have to get into that, because there are some moments this episode that was crazy. Damn, we gonna have to get into it. Damn. Anyways, and then who's leaving third? Scott and Lori are leaving third. They were literally in the top 3. This is so dark-sided. What the fuck? But get this. I'm the smartest bitch who watches this show. Let me tell you why. Scott and Lori, they have a moment and they talk about how before they got on the show, like within 9 months, they did this big weight loss journey and they both lost a lot of weight. What did I say on the premiere? You can rewind the fucking tapes. Go back to my premiere video and watch it. I said Scott has dropped hella weight. Specifically, I was able to see it with him, but apparently Lori too, because they were showing fucking pictures, family pictures of them and they 8 kids. And I was like, hold on. He's done slimmed down. Like, this is a slim king. What's tea? Girl, they done lost all this motherfucking weight. They went to work. And honestly, you can tell that they're the type of people who can do something so drastic like that, because losing 90 and 100 pounds in 9 months is fucking insane. But they are those people who would do that. Like, looking at their personality, watching them throughout the season, they are so dedicated. If they put their mind to something, nobody can stop them. Period. And that's how they got them 8 kids. Because shit, could I do it? No. That alone, you got to be strong-willed. My God. 8? I hope they're not all the same age. Because this is my thought. There was a time I wanted like 7 kids, but I was like, if I were to realistically have 7 kids, I would have to have them in a staggered manner. Like, I have 3 around the same age. By the time they grown, they finna leave the house, I can have like 3 more, maybe 1 in the middle. Well, he would be alone. I would want maybe 2 and then 2. It just has to be like, I can't have 7 babies. Whoa. So yeah, couldn't do that. That would have been crazy. But boom, straight what? Somebody in the chat talking about straight. I didn't say straight babies. Or I didn't say natural. The babies don't have to be. You could. Oh well, I guess because I was talking as if like I had control over like them being born. Surrogate. Anyways, I don't want 7 kids no more. That's too much stress. I think I would literally lose it. Truly. So yes, they talk about that. That was really cute. We get to the monkey forest, the sacred monkey forest. And at the sacred monkey forest, Jonathan and Anna are there, and Scott and Lori are on the other side. And they see them and they're like, oh, hey, y'all, So we wanted to just let y'all know it was no shade when we gave y'all the 25. We just had to, it was just, it just was what it was. My bad. And Lori was like, well, no, I mean, I just thought we were cool. Like, I thought we was friends. Like, I don't know. And Jonathan was like, oh, no, we are cool. Like, we are. And she was like, well, if that's the case, why'd you burn the 15 pounds? You could have gave that 15 pounds away. And they were like, well, we didn't know that we were going to use our express pass when we did the 15 pounds. So which is true. They didn't know they were going to use the express pass. They shouldn't have used the fucking express pass. Because look what the fuck happened. Didn't I say wait for that heat? I literally said wait for I should have been in their ear. I should have been there. But no. They shouldn't use the express pass, but they did, and they didn't know. So sure, they're being honest about it, but also they were just so reckless about that decision. Like, they just was moving. Slow down. Savannah, slow down. But yes, Scott and Lori end up hugging it out with them. Clearly, they forgot. No, they forgave, but they didn't forget, because they definitely was ready to vote for them in this U-turn vote. And that's what the fuck is next. So what do y'all think about the U-turn vote in the chat? What do y'all think? Oh, y'all talking in the chat. What's T? Child. Oh my God. Alessandro said, the way you thirst over every man, 7 kids makes sense for you. I didn't say 7 kids with 7 baby daddies. I'm going to find the one. This is the thing. Do I thirst over every man, or is every man thirstable? Is every man just wet? Let's just analyze. Hypothetically. Let's say hypothetically. Let's just say hypothetically. We're looking at this cast. Every man is thirstable. It's not my fault. Girl, did y'all see Mark and Brett in that motherfucking water? My God. I almost ran to Indonesia to the water just to be in the water with them while they was in the water. Like, I mind you, this was months ago that this was recorded. I would have went to Indonesia today to be in the same water that they was in months ago. I'm sorry. The bodies are tea. What is that? What is that in the water? I don't know where they live at, but wherever they live at, I need some of that. Like, I need some of that water, some of that food, yada, yada, yada. Woo. And see, this is my thing. Y'all in the chat talking about you ran through. Listen, I'm actually not. And I think this is the problem. I'm real. Everybody else in the world, I don't know what it is about y'all, but y'all want to be so demure and coy and, oh, well, no, I mean, I just went, be real with yourself. You would lay in the bed with 8, 9, 10 of these men on this cast, and that's okay. I think it's become this taboo thing to be open and honest with your romance and sexuality. One thing that 99% of humans can relate to is romantic feelings. So I just need y'all to get on that type of time, and y'all can live vicariously. Now, don't walk around touching on, groping on people. Don't get crazy. But if you have eyes for a reason. God didn't just give me eyes not to look. What the fuck are you talking about? But anyways, we move forward. So we get to the U-turn vote. Child, Phil lets them know it's going to be live in front of everybody. They're going to read the votes out in front of everybody. A real gag. Loved this. This was very, very messy. Let me pull the votes up on the screen. Boom. Ooh, this might be a lot, so I'll read it out. 4 teams voted for Scott and Lori. Those teams were Brett and Mark, Han and Holden, Melinda and Erica, and Nick and Mike. Boom. And this kind of makes sense because most of these teams, except Nick and Mike, but the other 3 teams, they weren't seeming super, super bitter against Jonathan and Anna. And Mark and Brett, we'll get to them. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing. They're very smart. That's why they did what they did. But Melinda and Erica, they didn't have no reason to be mad at Jonathan and them. Han and Holden, they didn't have no reason to be mad at all of them. Yada, 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 yada. Now, 4 teams voted for Jonathan and Anna. Carson and Jack, very fake of them. I would have had to get them back. I would have had that in the back of my head for the rest of the competition because we didn't even give y'all the 25. Out of everyone to have voted Jonathan and Anna, Carson and Jack, we didn't even give y'all the 25, and that's why you got to watch out for them gays. Anyways, Alyssa and Josiah, Pops and Jeff, that makes sense. That makes sense. And Scott and Lori, they mad. They gotta get their lick back. Get your lick back. Get your lick back. And then Jonathan and Anna voted Nick and Mike. Okay, who cares, right? So it was a tie, but two teams were getting U-turn. So Scott and Lori and Jonathan and Anna both got U-turn. Now, this is the thing. The chat is clocking Lori and Scott down. And although I love Lori and Scott, I gotta clock them down too. Because Lori chimes in while the votes are being read, and she's like, oh, what? I don't understand why we're such a target. That doesn't even make sense because we're one of the slowest teams. Slow where? These people have gotten third, first, and third in the first four legs. First, third, first, and fourth in the first four legs. Y'all have never dropped below fifth place. And you're talking about you the slowest team. And then Scott is like, oh, this just feels like my sons voted for me. It feels like my son. Who are y'all fooling? And I think what it is there's sometimes where people get in situations where they're like kind of fighting for the win or their lives, or it's a tough situation. So people start to delude themselves. Scott and Lori think they're being so genuine right now. And it's like, please, you know you're not slow. You know you're not slow. I know you want to find a reason why it's stupid for them to vote y'all, but it frankly just isn't stupid. It's smart. Y'all are eating it the fuck up. Y'all are probably the strongest team in the motherfucking competition. That was crazy. And I don't have a problem with them being mad about it because, bitch, don't vote for me. But the delusion, it seems like it's almost like cementing into them. Like it seems like it's almost like bouncing back off of the other people and bouncing back onto them. And now they genuinely believe the lies. Like, y'all are not slow. Y'all might be older in age than some of the team. Y'all are actually the best team here, though. Like, none of that matters. Y'all lost 90, 100 pounds 8 months ago. Didn't no other team do that. Y'all are the elites. Y'all are those girls. That's why I love them. They're those girls. So I don't know. Them pretending they're not those girls, that was crazy. Please, talking about we y'all are like my 8 sons. No, the fuck they not. Put your 8 sons right here, and then put these 8 teams right here. Who you choose? Please, they're not like your children. You don't give a fuck about these bitches. Y'all don't care about these people. Just lying. And I think it's really just a way for them to try to like come up in their mind with why it's wrong for them to vote for. No, they should vote for y'all. Sorry, but we move. And Mark calls them out, but Mark is we got to get into it. Because Mark calls him out because he says, well, I don't know. You guys can't keep saying that y'all are the weak team and y'all are slow when y'all are top 3 every leg. Like, I don't know. Y'all can't keep saying that. And Lori and Scott mentioned how they're their friends and da-da-da-da-da. And Mark was like, well, y'all are friendly, but I feel like y'all are also using that as some type of social strategy. Like, I don't know. Y'all are using this friendliness. And Scott and Lori, they denied that. I don't think they're using the friendliness intentionally, but there's a thing about knowing your strengths and using your strengths to your benefit. So even though they're not using their friendliness in this active, manipulative way, they still are aware that they're friendly, and they know by being friendly that will help them. So Mark isn't wrong. You are aware that you're friendly, and you are aware that that will help you in the game. And that's what Mark's saying. But of course, when you're in the moment, you don't want to hear the truth. Shut up. They probably just wanted him to shut up. Stop talking. Actually, because you just voted for me. Fuck you. And then that's the thing. But this is what I got to say about Mark. The reason he understands all of this is because that's him. Mark and Brett have been able to do, by the virtue of a little bit of luck, they have been able to seem weak for 4 legs because they got fucked up. And the first leg was the intersection. So it was not the most, easy to tell who actually does good and who doesn't. The second leg, it was that damn link up shit. What the fuck is it called? Is that the intersection? Okay, that was the intersection. So what was the first leg? The dual split? The double dog there? What the fuck is it called? Anyway, you know what the fuck the fucking legs were. The first leg was when they had to choose 2 paths, and the second leg was when they had to link the fuck up. So both of those legs, Mark and Brett were able to not get in these super high placements by not on their own accord. If they would have gotten first, they would have loved to get first. They accidentally didn't get these high placements on those first couple of legs, and then they had to catch up. So this whole time, they've had the privilege to do what basically Scott and Lori should have done on purpose. And now they understand that what Scott and Lori wanted to do was exactly what they were able to do, which was pretend to not be a good team. And then in the later half, actually show that you're that girl and you're that good team, which is why they're literally first place this round. And I think the new meta, especially with this type of twist that happens, if they are going to keep doing a lot of twists throughout the season, a part of the meta should be to come off as a middle of the road team at the beginning. So that way you don't get U-turned or you don't get messed up at the driver's seat, stuff like that. So in hindsight, Scott and Lori should have pretended to be a little bit weaker. Like they should have intentionally went slower on one or two of these legs that they knew they were in the lead for, so that way they would come in 5th or 4th place, which is such a risk because you're racing. So I get why you wouldn't want to do that, but girl, I don't know. Like it's hard because you have to think of something, because they literally went home for it. The reason they're out of the game is because they were clearly a threat. So technically, they should have made sure they were not seen as a threat. Now, Jonathan and Anna, I think it's a little different. Yes, they were seen as a threat, but they also had an express pass. So them being a threat was mitigated by the fact that they were doing so good to where they had these buffers like the express pass. They just should have saved their express pass. At this point, they should know that. But Scott and Lori, they really had to figure it out. They should have been middle of the road. And even Carson and Jack, this is why I said Carson and Jack is also a little shady, because they make the comment after this. They're traveling to the next station. Carson and Jack make the comment. They're like, we eating it up because we didn't get no votes. So it's low-key good we wasn't getting first place none of these times because we didn't get no votes. Mind you, they've had the most consistent track record, but because they haven't had a first, it doesn't seem like it. So people are ignoring them. And it's like Carson and Jack have been in that sweet spot where they're still high, but they get overlooked because they haven't had a first place. Scott and Lori have had first, and Jonathan and Anna have had first. And Carson and Jack, I think they did get first at the fork in the road, but they were on the second group. So they got 5th, even though they were technically first for their group. So it's like you weren't able to see how good they're doing. So, girl, the gays, they finna eat it up. Like, now that they've fucked up their biggest competition, they finna eat it up. And that is why I like the twist. Like I said, I do enjoy the fact of the twist because it was predictable who would have made it to the final 3. Jonathan and Anna, Scott and Lori, and Carson and Jack would have made it to the final 3. It would have been so easy. So this twist does make it more of an even type of show. And if this twist, or if these consistent twists become normal, it'll be more thought that needs to go into the Amazing Race. And I think that's good. I think it's a good thing to make the Amazing Race more mentally challenging with your choices. If you have to think about maybe we shouldn't get first right now and we should save it, that adds an entirely new level of layers to the show that makes it more interesting. It's more strategic. There's more intention. All of that is more interesting to me. So honestly, I enjoy that this U-turn happened, because now in the future, it might make people think like, okay, hold on. We don't want to be Scott and Lori or Jonathan and Anna. So yeah, we move. Boom. We see this scene, and it's Jonathan and Anna in the car, and it's Scott and Lori in the car. In the car with Jonathan and Anna is like, ooh, we just have a big chance of going home. I just don't know what to do. And Jonathan is mad. He's like, stop whining. Look, stop whining. We don't whine. We're not criers. We don't cry. It is what it is. And she was like, well, I'm just upset right now. And they're having this like kind of downward spiral because of what just happened. And then in Scott and Lori's car, they're like, look, we getting first. If you ask me, we're still getting first. This like, it's nothing. And I really wish, I hate to say it. No, I don't, because I love Scott and Lori. I do wish Scott and Lori would have stayed this round over Jonathan and Anna, kind of because of that. Like, a lot of the times, the universe is telling you, or the way you bring out energy into the universe, it gets received to you. And I love that Scott and Lori were taking this in such a strideful way, and they were being positive. And I feel like it would have been just really serving. It would have been really, what is the word? Like full circle if Scott and Lori would have ended up staying over Jonathan and Anna after all of this kind of, the difference in their responses. But also, I kind of feel like in a way we're still going to see the results of that, Because if Scott and Lori stayed, I think they could have still made the final. Jonathan and Anna staying, I think they're going to have a tough time inching their way up. Maybe they still could because they were still one of the better teams. But the way they responded to the situation kind of shows me how they're going to be when they're not at the top of the pack. And we already saw a hint of that with Jonathan. So it's like, are they going to be able to succeed all the way to the end and win the game the way maybe Scott and Lori would have? I don't know. No shade. I don't know. But we move. Dang. Mary Duda 44 said, I think it's curtains for Jeff and his dad next week. They are so all over the place. Like their placements have been everywhere. But I would say I think it's Nick and Mike. Like they just suck. No, they don't suck, but every time they can't move forward. They were done with their roadblock before Melinda and Erica, and Melinda and Erica got to the pit stop before them. How? What happened, friends? Literally, what happened? But we move. So we get to the detour. The detour is coconuts or coral. For coconuts, you have to use the bicycle to deliver 60 coconuts to some beach down the hallway, right? For coral, you have to use this coral reef star and attach a bunch of pieces of coral to it and then snorkel out to the water and put it in the water. Me and Lee would have had to do coconuts because we can't swim. So what does that tell you about the roadblock? God damn it. So we would have had to do coconuts. Coconuts seems like something that I would excel in though, because when it comes to bringing groceries in the house, I take all the bags. Like it never gave, oh, let's do 4 trips. 4 trips is crazy. I think we definitely would have been like, okay, we're doing 2 trips, 30 coconuts now, 30 coconuts the next trip, and we're moving forward. And no other team other than Scott and Lori did that. So it's like, if a normal team who wasn't U-Turn did that, they would have been Gucci. But also, me and Lee probably wouldn't have been U-Turn because I don't think we would have been at the front of the pack at all. So I think we would have been safe this round. I don't think we would have got U-Turn. Rudy says, what if we got U-Turn? It's over, and I feel so alone. It is over for us if we got U-Turn. I'd say we'd barely be here as it is. No shade. But if we made it here, and we got U-Turn, it's over. I think I'm a good attention to detail. So the coral reef, I probably would have did better than like Scott and Lori. But having to paddle out and match the shit, I don't know how I'm gonna paddle out. The roadblock would have fucked us up, honey. I don't know what we would have did. The fuck? So we would have chose coconuts. Chat, what are you choosing? Coconuts or coral? Let me know. Boom. Let's see who chose what. Oh, they U-turned. So, Brett and Mark and Carson and Jack both chose coral. Smart decision, because they literally got first and second. Everybody else chose coconut, and then Jonathan and Anna and Scott and Lori had to do both. Child. Delta Diva says coconuts. Real. Rudy says coconuts. Real. Mary said coral just for the swimming because it was hot, allegedly. But I just don't know how to swim. So, yeah. T. Fran says, I'm picking coral, hoping I don't get that far into the ocean. Yeah, they had to go to a point. It wasn't too far, but they had to start swimming. And it's like, if I have to start swimming, it's over. Like, I would have been like, Anna, give me a vest. Please. Please give me a vest. I don't know. But yes, the tasks were not like the coconut task, purely physical, purely just walk the shit over there, walk back. It's hot outside, yada, yada, yada. The coral task, attention to detail. And Carson and Jack and Brett and Mark, they did really, really good at that. So it didn't really matter for them. But the main girls we got to talk about is Jonathan and Anna and Scott and Lori. I was saying, if I did get U-Turn, I need to do coral first. Because in my mind, the coconut one is physical. So I would want to do the coral first, because if that takes us longer because it's not as physical and we need to catch up, it'll be easier to catch up with coconut than it will be to catch up with coral. So doing coral first and coconut second would make it easier to catch up to the rest of the people. And I think that's definitely what fucked up Scott and Lori. If Scott and Lori would have did Coral first, I think they would have been able to kind of like look at the other teams, have the energy of other people being there, get kind of some help here and there from some people to actually get Coral done, and then they would have bodied Coconut. I think that fucked them up by choosing the Coconut first. And in their mind, they're like, oh, we got to do the physical exertion first. I'm thinking, why? Why would you exert physically first so you could be tired as fuck doing the next detour and the roadblock? Like, you need to save the tiredness for the end. So I felt like they needed to do Coral first, personally. Like, what? Like, what? But yes, so that's what happened. And we saw Jonathan and Anna. Oh my, Jonathan. Oh my God. Now, when they went to Coral, it was okay. It was okay at Coral. Anna couldn't swim, so that was an issue, but they got over that. We moved forward. And she does talk about like she had like a drowning incident when she was young, so that's why she was not comfortable with the water. Girl, I'm just not comfortable with water, period. I also had like a drowning incident, but I don't think that like stuck in me as trauma. So I'm just not good with the water. Okay. But they got past that and they got to the coconuts and they're stacking the coconuts on the bike. And I know they were annoyed because it's already annoying. They got to do both. It's hot outside. We struggled to do the Coral. We had to just swim. We walked all the way over there. I'm sweating. We mad. Boom. I get all of that. But when I tell you, I was like, are y'all delirious? Like, what's happening? Because they were stacking the coconuts like fucking vertically. I'm thinking, what are y'all doing? The coconuts falling over, the bike falling over, Anna not holding the bike. Jonathan mad. It was just, it was a lot. And Jonathan, like, I'm telling y'all, I think Jonathan is really just emotional. And a lot of men don't think they don't understand that emotional can mean multiple different things because women seem to tend to be the ones who are called emotional. And I don't think people understand the full range of emotions. Jonathan is like 10 times more emotional than Anna is. So it's like when they're in these situations and Jonathan is doing all this huffing and puffing and hooting and hollering and damn and oh and can you and help and da 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 da. And Anna is kind of just like, well, what do you want me to do? And well, okay, how could I help? And da 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 da. It's like it seems crazy because Jonathan, why are you huffing and puffing and she chilling? And I think it's really just a difference of personality. Like, oh my God, oh, they in the chat saying abusive. Oh my God, I personally, you could call it abusive, whatever you want to call it. Hey, you do you how you feel. Da 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 da. Woo woo woo. But honestly, it's just I really think it's situational because I know people IRL who I've had relationships with for a while. And when they get emotional, they break down. They start getting angry. They start getting upset. They start speaking any kind of way. Nothing matters to them. I personally, like, it really just is. He is a more emotional type of person. Like, he has a lot of different energies that comes out of him when he gets annoyed and he gets upset and he's hot and he's doing all of this other stuff. He definitely should, like, you should be conscious, and people like that, I feel like, should be more conscious of the way that they're, you know, responding to the people they're around and they're talking to the people they're around. But in those moments, from my experience with people who are more emotional in that way, I think they really don't, they stop caring about the other people and how they're receiving it and how they're coming across because their emotions are taking over their mind. They're not thinking logically, which is crazy, but I genuinely think that's what it is because of the experience I've had with people like that. I'm not like that. I'm not one who, when I get overwhelmed, I don't get emotionally overwhelmed. I get more logically overwhelmed. I'm like, okay, what do I need to do? Do I do this? Do I do this? I start overthinking, but I don't, you know, emotionally get overwhelmed. And I do think there's not just two types of people, but I think there are, in this type of scenario, I think for the most part, there are two ways that people handle stresses. And I do think some people handle stress with a lot of emotion, and I think some people handle stress with a lot of logic. And I think they just have that one team where it's like, y'all are two opposite situations, because we've seen teams where both people are emotional and they argue with each other, or they bicker with each other, or they start having these back and forth with each other. But when you see a team with one emotional person and one non-emotional person, or one person who isn't that expressive with it, it seems way crazier. Kind of like Bernie and Kerrigan. Bernie and Kerrigan both were kind of emotional. So they would bicker with each other sometimes. Kerrigan would kind of shut down, and Bernie would kind of be doing this other type of thing, but it still seems almost equal. But Bernie was talking to Kerrigan kind of crazy sometimes too. And I think what the issue is that when you're watching it, it just seems crazy because it's like she's not even saying anything, and he's constantly mouthing off and annoyed and da 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 da. But if she was that same type of personality, they would just be arguing the whole time, and then I don't think the audience would care about as much about what he's doing. I think it seems more intense because she isn't saying anything back, and she kind of is just like, okay, girl, let's move forward and whoop. But I don't know. That's just my perspective of it. I kind of just feel like it's kind of a difference of personalities, but mostly because, like, low-key, if me and Lee was out there, that would be us. Like, Lee gets more shut down. He gets more emotional when it comes to like difficult tasks and stuff like that. And I don't, and I'm just kind of like there. So I definitely could see that being like us. And it's like, well, like, you know, I wouldn't say he's abusing me, or I wouldn't say he's talking to me. He is. Sometimes they do be talking to you crazy, but it's more so of a internal thing. Like, it's not about it being Anna. It's just about he is annoyed in his own world, and that's not good, and he should work on it. But still, I don't know. And it was hot, and you know him in the heat. He needs to stand the fuck up. I'm so sorry. He pissed me the fuck off when he was sitting down. I don't give a fuck how many coconuts you took over there. Get the fuck up. We're in a race. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours of pain for some money and an experience. Get up. Mind you, that's the thing. They still didn't go home with him sitting down and drinking and what the. But what if they did? Like, what if they did? That would have pissed me the fuck off. If I was Anna and I went home and I watched that back, and if he would have just stood up at that moment, we would have been good. That would have pissed me the fuck off. But Anna handled it like a fucking pro, because she was like, oh, okay, let me give him time. Let me walk away. Let me do. She's probably used to him. But girl, let that have been me. Get the fuck up. Fuck is you talking to? But you really can't talk to people who are in that type of state like that, because that wouldn't have been productive at all. If she would have started arguing, he would have started arguing back, and they would have started arguing. They would have definitely lost. So Anna is caring. Anna is the reason they're still in the game. The way she responded, 1000% is the reason she's still in the game. Because baby, why are we taking breaks? Why are we sitting down? Mary says somebody in 14 went home for taking a pre-break. If we're in the back and I have to pee, I'm peeing on myself on national TV. I don't give a fuck. Period. Ooh, Rudy clocking. Rudy says he was being so dismissive. When Anna was struggling, he got annoyed. But when he's struggling, he rude. That is very true. And that's the issue. And I think it's like a personality thing. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is. Like, I definitely think everybody needs therapy for sure. But I do say, like, I have seen people who are like that, who get like that when they're angry. And it's like, everybody needs therapy. Everybody needs to see somebody. But you really shouldn't respond in that shutdowny way. Like, that's almost unhealthy. Like, I don't know, it's borderline unhealthy to respond in the way that he was, I will say. But what do you do? Like, as his partner in that moment, like, that's in the past now. In the future, now that they're cool and they're not in this pressure cooker type of situation and environment, if he does that on a regular daily basis, that's crazy. Y'all racing for $1 million and you're on Amazing Race and you're hot and annoyed and you're talking crazy. I get that. But if y'all walking down the street pushing the stroller at Disneyland, and at Disneyland y'all pushing the stroller and you snapping, you need to see a therapist ASAP. Like, you need to get a psychiatrist on the line and get some medicine. If you can't walk around normally on every average day and not snap and get annoyed if it's too hot or too cold and shit like that. On the race, I'm gonna give you a pass. Other people not giving you a pass. I'll give you a pass on the race. If you at home or on a daily and you do this, you genuinely need to see a psychiatrist. This goes to anybody. Like, anybody who feels like their emotions are up and down, or they have extremes to their emotions for difference in the environment, or if they're annoyed or stuff like that, you need help regulating your emotions mentally. Like, you need psychiatric help. And it's never no shade. Like, it's never no shade. It sounds shady, but I'm being dead ass. Like, it's important for everybody to really see mental help. And honestly, this is everybody. Even if you don't have those problems, there are so many people in this world. The way that the world is now, with electronics being at the forefront, social media, with you having so much access to so much information, that is not what our minds were built for. When we evolved, or whatever you believe in, however we came to be, our brains were not built to take in all of this information over and over again and be put through these stressful energies over and over again. Like, the environment that the government in is just, in general, it's very toxic. It's very combative. There's so much tension in the air. We're not built for this. We're built for community and love and happiness. And that's not what we have. So everybody go see a therapist right now. When this podcast is over, schedule your appointment with your therapist. If you can't afford them, damn. Try to find a free one, maybe. You know us in the healthcare. See, and this is what I'm saying. I can't even go to the doctor get my cough checked out because I ain't got no money for a copay. Girl, it's crazy. Shout out to Isabel. Scott and Lori. Oh my God. I haven't been watching the show for a few years, but your updates have kept me in the loop. Shocked. Girl, it was so crazy. They played them. It was bad. Child, so we moved. The roadblock, very easy. This is what I will say. If you're going to do a U-turn, I need the roadblock to be something. I don't know what it needs to be, but it don't need to be this. Like, I get this was needle in a haystacky, but this was, to me, I can see why it's physically exerting and it's hard, and they were probably out there for a while, but no team passed each other up in this roadblock. This roadblock, whoever went in, they got done first. And to me, that means it wasn't hard enough. For this to be a U-turn round, the roadblock should have been something where everyone would have had to take some time to get it done. It probably took time, but not enough. Because like I said, everyone was done in the order that they got there. So I don't know. I prefer, if there is going to be a U-turn, for there to still be some type of chance. I think that's why they made it a double U-turn. So that way there was a chance that one of the, like, whoever got U-turn, you had a chance against the other one getting U-turn. Maybe y'all need to do a triple U-turn to make it even more even. Maybe y'all need to do something. Personally, I just feel like if you're going to do a U-turn, the roadblock needs to be the hardest roadblock of the season. Like, it needs to be a roadblock where someone could catch up, someone could fall behind, someone could slip up. Like, this was just too straightforward, in my opinion. And I don't know if that would have changed the results, honestly, but I still would have preferred that. It just seems simple on TV that they had to paddle out and look for the logo. And I know it was hard, but for it to be a U-turn round, it should have been harder. And that's just how I feel. But I know it was hot outside and this wasn't the right thing to do and yada, yada, yada. But I don't know. Personally, I just didn't like this roadblock with the fact that it was a U-turn. Because I was like, Scott and Lori and Jonathan and Anna could have never caught up. Like, they could have never caught up to any team with this roadblock. And I want them to be able to catch up with the roadblock of the detour of the U-turn. Like, y'all know what the fuck I'm saying. Like, that didn't make no sense to me. Easy ass roadblock. So they had to go out there, match the surfboard logo to the surfboard logo and move forward. Everybody got done. It was easy. It was easy for everybody. It wasn't easy. Let me not say that, but everyone got done. Everyone did it in the order they arrived. Boom. Like, the order of the pit stop was done after the detour. Literally, as soon as everyone who finished the detour order, this is the detour finish order. This is the order everyone finished the detour. And that's not a good leg to me. If the leg is done after one part, it's not a good leg. Like, even if the roadblock was first, if the order they were done with the roadblock is the order that they went to the mat, stupid to me. Like, basically the only thing that mattered was the detour. So there you go. I said what I said. Hopefully they learn from this. Somebody clip this and send this to them, because that was some bullshit. So we end up with this result, right? Scott and Lori go home. Brett and Mark are now in the head honcho position. I think moving forward that Brett and Mark and Carson and Jack have usurped the queens, Scott and Lori and Jonathan and Anna, and I believe that they will now be the front runners moving forward. Like I said, they needed to get them gays out, because them gays is finna eat this shit up for the rest of the season. I don't see how anyone is going to surpass them. Like, Alyssa and Josiah and Pops and Jeff, they have their good moments. They're just not consistent. Alyssa and Josiah are more consistent, I will say. But Pops and Jeff aren't consistent enough. Han and Holden are not consistent enough. If anything, Melinda and Erica are the most consistent, but they've never been at the top of the pack. Nick and Mike suck. Like, ideally for me, Jonathan and Anna get all the way back up to the top 3 so we can actually have an intense final 3 kind of competition. I still do want the final three to be interesting. And I think the issue is, even though we got this round to knock out one of the heavy hitter teams, there's still technically 3 heavy hitter teams. Like, we need to also knock out Brett and Mark and Carson and Jack. I don't know. Like, we need another twist that also consistently does the thing. And that's what I was saying about the twist. The twist need to be consistent. We need to always have something that can always consistently shuffle up the board. Because in a way, this isn't a surprising ranking. Scott and Lori and Jonathan Anna got the U-turn. So the next best teams are the top 3. So I'm still not surprised. Like, we need a full shuffle. The driver's seat tried to do that. It didn't really work. The U-turn tried to do that, and it kind of just pushed 2 teams down, but the other teams are still up there. I want a twist that can shuffle everything around. Like, Pops and Jeff need to get first. Melinda and Erica need to get first. Han and Holden need to get first one round. I want to see a different first place every fucking round. And it's like, I don't know how we do that. Like, how can we enhance the Amazing Race experience? I guess we'll never know. It's not my job. No shade. But yeah, there you go, y'all. I'll be back next week. My new faves. Damn, I probably need to stand the gays or I'm going to be heartbroken all season. You know what? I'm going to just stick to the gays. Rooting for them. I'm really rooting for Pops and Jeff, though. But that's my problem. They're going to end up going the fuck home. I'm not rooting for nobody. I'm going to just keep it neutral. Good luck, everybody. But anyways, getting to the other shit. Of course, we have RuPaul's Drag Race coverage tomorrow. Every Wednesday, we do Survivor Australia and Survivor 48. Every Thursday, we do our Survivor Rewind and the Challenge All-Star Survival. So get into that. There is 17 more days to get in your votes for the Reality Rewind we will be covering. So click the link in the description and vote for one of those. Also get into the Scripted Kingdom this week. I already posted my Death of a Unicorn review. Later today, I will be posting my March 2025 movies wrapped. And this weekend, I will be posting my Mission Impossible reaction. And then coming soon, I have the Minecraft movie recap and Mission Impossible 2. So get into the Scripted Kingdom if you're into that or whatever. And thank you for keeping it real with the kingdom, baby. We out. Bye.